Okay, so I know that you initially got started from, you have personal testimony as to why you got started. You had ulcerative colitis. So just explain how that came about.
Okay, well, just to give you a background, at 21, I won Mr. America, so I looked a certain way. So that's why I say I looked a certain way. I ate great, I exercised. So, and at 25 now, I'm still doing like magazine covers and stuff like that. And I was married and everything. So I'm doing fine. Then on a Sunday, I'm fine. Monday, I start going to the bathroom a lot. So I thought it was a stomach bug. A month later, I'm passing blood like 15 times a day, and so I'm getting a little nervous. Nothing ever really bad happened. It stayed their way. Then 2 months later, I went from 215 to 179 pounds, and I'm bleeding 18 times a day. Got scared. I mean, yeah, sure, there's something wrong. We went to a gastroenterologist, a GI doctor, and they diagnosed me with an incurable disease called ulcerative colitis. They did colonoscopy and everything. Now, ulcerative colitis is an autoimmune disease where your immune system's attacking your body.
Right.
And these were great doctors. See, what I'm telling you, it's not against doctors. I mean, these were great. They put me on prednisone, anti-inflammatories, Xanax, Valium, painkillers, and some other drug. And they were doing the best they could at what they know. And I just got worse and worse. And it got so bad. They're like, listen, Chris, we're gonna send you to Dallas, Texas. And this is how I ended up here. So we're gonna send you to Dallas, Texas, and this is the best in the country. So now I got hope. I'm going to the best in the country. All the white coats, best had a team. Man, I just got worse and worse at the end of 4.5 months. From my first symptom, 4.5 months later, they said, listen, we're going to have to remove your colon, and you're going to have a colostomy bag for the rest of your life. And that was my one and only option at 25. So, I'm depressed because when you lose your health, you get depressed. So there's no need to take a depression medication for that. It's just life. And I felt like damaged goods. Here I can't take care of my wife. She's taking care of me. Then will I ever have a family, kids? Will I ever supply for that family? A career. My mom already lost a son, so she's going through this whole thing again. And I just have no more options. And then I actually went online and I actually was talking to people who had that procedure done where they removed your colon. And I had a stack of emails and letters of people saying, listen, that I talked to and interviewed, they were no better off. They had no colon, no better off, still on medication, so you can't reverse this. So see, I go to the doctor with literally about an inch and a half thick stack of paper, said, listen, this option you're giving me, I know it's the only one, but this is not good. This is not proven.
No progress.
Yeah, so but most people today is they're afraid to ask questions. It's your body, So the thing is, you dictate your health. So if you go to the doctor and say, I don't want to do your blood pressure or cholesterol medications, I'm not going to put my kids on antidepressants or ADD medication. I don't want a colostomy bag. They say, and that's all they know. They say, well, if you don't do this, you're going to die. All right. So death was my only option. So I'm dropping out of school, and one of my anatomy teachers in college was like, listen, you got to go see my doctor. I'm telling you, you're going to get well. He's a corrective care chiropractor. And I've been at chiropractors before, but I thought it was just a muscle thing.
Right.
I never had back pain. Still never had back pain. My back was very strong, and so he actually took me out of class, brought me to the doctor's office. I met the doctor at lunch. And he sat me down, he talked to me a little bit, blew my mind. And then he took pictures of my spine, because the only way you could tell is you got to take a picture. He brought me back that night, he educated me in a way I was never educated before. It made all the sense in the world. And when I went back and I saw my spine, your spine has to be straight up and down from front to back. I had a 20-degree curvature in my lower spine. Just think, it looked like an upside-down question mark right down here. And those lower back nerve roots, not only they go to your back, but they go to your colon. Okay, so that was it. Nerve supply itself were being choked off. And so the first thing, he starts adjusting me to just remove the interference, take pressure off the nerve, so your body could then communicate and heal. Then the second thing, I had to start eating better. That's why we do the Eat to Live, about eating. I ate a lot of man-made stuff, protein bars, protein shakes. Anything man-made can't sustain your life. And the third factor was the faith factor, that our body's healing God's timing. It took us a while to get there. It's going to take some time to get well. But every 1 degree of improvement you get in the right direction, you hold on to. Because I knew, so then you could look back and see where you came. So my personal miracle came. I stopped my medications because they definitely weren't working. And 2 weeks later, I didn't lose any more weight. So that was a miracle for me. Then 2 weeks after that, I gained 1 pound. But I'm still bleeding, every day, 18 times a day. And 5.5 months later, the blood stopped. And I just got better and better. And here in front of you guys today, I'm healthy, I'm whole, I got a beautiful 3-year-old little boy. But every fear and imagination of my past, it was all traded in for beauty. And my biggest test in my entire life, it's my biggest testimony. It's all because that one person took the time to tell me. He wasn't fearing being socially awkward. He knew the truth because he saw me and he was out to save my life. And because of him, not only do we have the biggest practice in the world, but thousands of people's lives have been changed and saved through my testimony, what we do here. I get to travel the country and I even get to go across the world now, teaching the principle, not that what I do, that, you know, God created your body to function, heal, and operate, more magnificent than you ever could think. You just need to get there and obey those laws and principles. And that's what we do. So, I mean, that was my testimony. I'm here today, and it's been 8 years now, and everything's great, and that's why my heart's attached to this. This is all I do. Every day for me is a bonus. So, you know, don't ask me about sports, don't ask me about anything else. I only know what I was called to do, and I definitely, so through a tragedy in my life, that was my way of going into my destiny. And through that, and just the fact and the honor that I have to know that, you know, many people don't know what they're called for, but just to know that I lived a life knowing what I was purposed to do, and that was just unlimited potential for me and my family, just to really serve and save lives. It really is.
Okay. Did you initially start it from a spiritual standpoint, or did that come afterwards?
Oh, it was.
Like
Oh yeah, I was. You know, I was raised in church, you know, Wednesday and Sunday. But you know what? When you're so scared, when you have so much fear in your body, you make bad decisions. I mean, you're scared. And really, I mean, honestly, guys, you know, you go to the doctor, they say, "Oh, we found this," and they scare the heck out of you.
Right.
You have cancer. Everybody thinks the C word, the cancer word, is the end of all ends. But I mean, we know there's documentations of millions of people that defeated cancer without chemo and radiation. So see, so you get that fear, and when you fear, you're paralyzed. So even though I was paralyzed with fear, you know, you're thinking, oh, it's too late. Okay, so you're doing this. So for the first time, see, that's where that faith factor was important, because for the first time in my life, you mean, and it sounds so weird, like I actually had to rely on God and the way He created me versus relying on man. And when you say that, when it comes out of your mouth, you're like, that sounds so weird. But because we're so we're so programmed that this is the way it is. And you know what? The best in the United States couldn't help. We're this one guy in Sarasota, Florida, but this wasn't just one man. We're talking there's tens of thousands of doctors that have this philosophy. Some do, some don't. Just like you get a bad haircut, you get a good haircut. But I mean, there's some that are, I mean, I know they are not only just, they come from the philosophy and the principle. See, the principle saves. It's the principle that how the body is created to heal. And from that philosophy, man, you know, I get nervous just saying, what if He didn't tell me? If He didn't tell me, I wouldn't have a son today. I wouldn't have, I mean, you understand, like the ramifications of one person. So whether it be, you know, saving someone's life for health, telling them about Christ, you don't understand the difference of that one person,
right.
What that does. I mean, you know, it's amazing what that'll do, you know. So, and through that, I will tell you, my faith definitely increased from there, because I get to see it every day. I get to see an aspect of life that people don't even realize, you know, when it comes to God healing people's body, because people don't even see that. So when people get well, they don't, if they even don't even try to thank me. I said, listen, don't thank me, thank the, you know, that's the God who made you. This is, so when someone after 24 years of being bipolar and all these medications and they're off, you know, I get a little upset. I said, I want you to know that for 24 years you believed a lie. You never had to go through that for 24 years. And yes, God will use anything bad for His good, but they never had to go through that in 24 years. Isn't that amazing? So they know that, and then it increases their faith and their belief in the mighty, loving God they serve. It's not His will, because if you think about it, when Jesus left the disciples, what He says, like, I want you to go spread the word, and then you go heal the sick. So I mean, healing. I mean, Christ healed millions of people, or you know, probably millions. You know, not because to show off. I mean, like, you know, He was confident in who He was. He didn't have to show off, right? So then, because it's His character.
Right.
And the only qualification in the Bible for someone to get healed is they just needed healing, right? You know, it wasn't they. I mean, so you believe, let's do it. You know, so that's a will of God. You know, you're not supposed to be sick, and if you are, I guarantee you, there's ways and laws that are being broken that there's just due to lack of knowledge, and that's what we're trying to save. I'm already behind. There's people that needed us 10 years ago, but that's why we got to get in front of as many people as we can and tell them the story and save their lives. Really.
Okay.